Okay, it has, the next day, the glue has set. I've trimmed off both of the sides of this to give me something to work with. You can see this is the back side, about 3/30 seconds to on that side. On the front side, barely have a 32nd of an inch. I've got these two tips on the end. I need to glue to knock these off. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do that right now. Okay, we're just going to use a real fine tooth saw and saw this off. I kind of hold it up against the edge. I don't want to put the kerf marks on the thing, but we'll just saw very gently so as not to do any additional damage to the finish on that. That worked well. Let's turn it around. And we'll do the same thing. I'm just using a Japanese saw. I like to use these. You could use any type of a saw. Another one that's good for going up against the edge of a piece of wood to cut off something similar to this is one of those no set saws where it doesn't have a set on one side. That way you absolutely won't scratch the finish. I've got one of those. I just can't find it, so we'll just use this. Final thing that we need to do is, I've got this off. This is the inside, and I have got that trimmed off flush with the door. On the outside, I have it trimmed off flush with the door. I did both of those sides with a table saw, which may not have been the best tool, but it worked for me. I've got a very, very accurate and extremely old Delta Unisaw, and works good. Anyway, we have to cut the front of this down about 1/16 of an inch so that it's even with the corner of the thing. That's, as I've said before, that's the most important edge. On the back, we'll probably be taking off close to 1/8 of an inch, because I may not have showed you, but you can see where this wedge is. Well, on the inside, this door was already at a slight taper on this edge to facilitate it opening and closing. That way when it closed, it didn't rub on the other part. That in itself was kind of the reason I was able to get in there with an extremely thin hacksaw blade and cut that lock off. So here's what I'm going to use. I realize many of you may not have this, but I've got this very old what's called an infill plane. It's not all that pretty. It's had a lot of use. Even when I got it, it had some nicks and pits and stuff like that. It's not a Norris. I don't really know exactly what it is. It doesn't have a name on it. But the reason that I use this on this type of an operation is, and the reason that I bought this plane, is it has an absolutely minuscule mouth here. And this is for some of the most very fine work that you've got. And I only bring this out once or twice a year, but it's for something that's extremely fine and needs that touch so you don't tear it up. So I've got it, so I'm just going to use it. Let's see what we can do here. As you see, it takes such a fine shaving. It's going to take quite quite a while to do this. The shavings are just whispers. Now I've got to be careful and not get down past the edge here. I think for the sake of safety, I'm going to cut off some of the back edge first with a slight angle and leave that front edge with a little meat there to get at the very end. Still got plenty of wood there on the front. Alright, now we're winding up towards the front. Now, when I first started this, I set a small bevel gauge to this bevel to help me know when I was there. We are almost there. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with mindless planing here. You see what I'm doing, and I'll come back when we have this finished, and we'll be ready to do a little bit of finishing on it. I do want to show you as we get close to the very end of planing, you're actually on this front edge. Ideally, if you can do it, you want to leave absolutely nothing. You want to go take that last 1/1000th of a piece of wood off that edge so it doesn't show. That may be hard to do and may be unnecessary, because you could touch it with a bit of sandpaper and go over there. So I just wanted to let you see us get close. I'm just kind of crossing my fingers. I think that I have a perfect glue joint on this, and I don't know if you can see, but I do have a little bit of the finish from where I was cutting it off. I may have scanned it, but that'll, when I put the finish on, that won't even show. But to show you how it's coming, I've got just that little wedge there. We'll see how it is here so that you can see. Maybe just a little bit more off on the back. I think I'm going to stop on the front and not press my luck. We'll just touch it with just a touch of sandpaper. This really isn't a wonderful plane for this job. Ooh, that was a good shaving there. I like the finish with a full. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Shall we take one more shaving and press our buck? Let's go for it. Maybe two. Very nice. All right. I think we've done the job. We've got, if you can see it on there, the bevel. We've got the pre-bevel. You can see back here, it's probably less than 1/8 of an inch thick. There is a little bit out of the finish here. The reason that I did that was getting the glue off, and there were a couple of little tiny places that still are on here from the damage that was done, and I want to be sure to be able to cover those. So I think I'm going to stop with this. Let's just see if it will fit into the opening, which now I've got to still have the hinges on there, but I think that we're good. Okay, I'll stop for a few minutes and we'll put some finish on this stuff. Okay, I'm back. Let's finish up this project. I'm going to use some shellac on this. This is never going to have water or anything else like that. Now, I don't know what the original finish is that Gerstner used on their chest, but I've matched it quite often with shellac. Now, the walnut on this chest has not begun to fade that much. Usually, these walnut chests by Gerstner's will tend to get lighter over time. What I've got here is I mix my own shellac. I may do a video on that later on if anyone needs it. There's a lot of shellac videos out there. But what I've got here, and I will use it to match, I have a 2-pound cut of button-like. I have a 2-pound cut of Super Blonde. And I have a 2-pound cut of garnet. The garnet seems to be one that gets pretty close on this walnut. So I usually will start off with this, and if I really need to go darker, then I can switch to the darkest, which is the button-like. And then oftentimes, if it's a little too dark or I need to mix a little bit, I'll mix in a little bit of the Super Blonde. I don't form, in this type of an operation, the perfect tampon or whatever it is that you call those. It's just, I'll just wad the towel up and let's go for it. Okay, let's see how it does on this door. I think it's going to end up being pretty good. You can kind of see on the back of it that although it shows the mismatch of the grain and a slight glue line, it does match up pretty good. It's a little dark on the end grain, but that's probably because it's wet at this end grain. I don't know if you can see them, but look at those runs. Even Gerstner has problems with their finish running. That's on the bottom, though. We'll give them a break on that. I think we've got a pretty good match. If you can see, I'll just go over this on the front for that one little scuff. Then I'll wipe most of that off. And that's what makes these rags so handy. You can play around and get just exactly what you need. Get a little bit more of this. This is probably where you'll notice the biggest difference because it's in the same plane as the others. And this is just a little darker. Okay, so I think with it being a little darker there, it's not going to totally. Let's put a little Super Blonde and kind of mellow that out. Give that little scratch a little bit of brightening up. I think that may have been where they gave a feeble attempt to break into another drawer, but anyway, it looks pretty good. Let's see how this looks with this up here. A little bit of a mismatch, but that's probably going to be about as close as we can. At least it's functional. It is the proper wood for this. I'm going to go ahead and put this door back on after it dries a few minutes, and I'll come back and show you with it done like that. Okay, I'm going to consider this project closed. I still need to see if I can't get the key, and if I do, then I will rebuild this lock. I just have a new thing to put inside of there. As you can see, fits very well. It's got a little tick when I close, and it's this front corner down here is hitting down here. It may be with how I've got it installed on the screws, but that's not. We can fix that. The walnut that we put in, we bring you up a little closer. It's not a perfect match. It matches this top door. It's got a little dark in it, but after I get another coat or two of Super Blonde on there and get a little shine to it, which will be later today or tomorrow, it'll have a closer match. You can see the edge of the door has, it just doesn't even, no one even really notices it when they open it. Now if they were looking real close, they might see the glue line on the inside, but I don't think that's going to happen. I still have a couple of the scratches on here that are not, they're not going to get any repair done to them. You can see the couple of scratches where they tried to get in there. There's also a couple here on the cover that we're not going to worry about. It all fits good. It's a very nice chest. I'm proud to have it. As you saw, I also have the riser that has the other 7, 8 drawers. I forget what it is in it. I think I'm going to be setting this up to be my reloading toolbox. I just haven't decided, but it's a nice box. I'm glad I got it. Glad that the repairs were possible. This box again hasn't seen much use, and I can certainly put it to use myself. The only thing that I see left to do is if this lock is not, if a key is not available for the lock, then I may have to put me I'll put a knob right here in the center or somewhere where it doesn't look too out of place to make it easier to open. If not, then it's going to be a little bit of a pain to open. So I'll figure something out. Well, I want to thank you for joining me for all of these. I hope that this was something that you enjoyed, and I hope that you'll come back. We've got a lot of other stuff planned. I know it has been a while since I've been out here doing some videos, but now that I'm retired and have a little bit of time, I'm probably going to be doing some. So thanks again for joining me. I'm the Period Woodworker. If you would, please mark that you liked this video if you liked it. And if you were just watching this but not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified of future stuff when I do it. Thanks again. Period Woodworker here. Bye.